Good evening, folks. So here we are, okay? And we now know that Sophie Cunningham has been after Caitlin Clark to participate in Project B. And we also know that Caitlin Clark's flat out answer was no. All right. There are many reasons for this, okay? I'm sure. But first and foremost, there is no way that Caitlin Clark is going to come off the 2026 season in the WNBA. And let's say they go into the playoffs, and let's say they go deep into the playoffs, depending upon what they're able to do in free agency and in the draft. Okay. Let's say that they go deep into the playoffs and they don't come off the court until October. There is no way in hell that Caitlin Clark is going to then take to the road in Europe and Asia for a multi-week period to play tournament style basketball, regardless of what they offer her for money. Okay? Caitlin Clark is a believer that when the season ends, you need to take a little bit of time off, let your body recoup, and play a little golf. It's as simple as that. Caitlin Clark is not playing for the dollars. Okay? If she were playing for the dollars, right, she wouldn't be turning stuff like this down. Okay? Yes, look, we all know that the state of Caitlin Clark's play in the WNBA, the state of her pay for what she brings to the game is minuscule. Okay? And it's absurd. And if indeed, or when indeed the CBA is ratified, Caitlin Clark stands to make a lot more money than she is right now. Okay. And she knows that. Okay. She is financially comfortable. She doesn't need to play in either Unrivaled or Project B. And she is playing in neither. Now we're working into our third year now where she has not played in Unrivaled. Okay. And she's everybody's golden goose. There is absolutely no question that Project B and Unrivaled aren't looking for her to join so that she can lend more legitimacy to them. And more legitimacy brings more money. But Caitlin Clark's not biting, okay? She's not. Caitlin Clark is committed to Team USA. She's committed to Team USA. She wants to play not only in the camp, which is coming up, by the way. It's about 6 days away, I believe, the 12th to the 14th of this month at Duke University. But she wants to be playing in the qualifiers in Puerto Rico in March. And she wants to be on Team USA for FIBA. And she wants to be on Team USA for the 2028 Olympics. Okay? Now, we don't know how FIBA is going to play out in terms of a timeline with the WNBA, and that really doesn't matter, okay? But what we do know is that Caitlin Clark has flat out refused to play for Project B. And I for one, am happy about that, all right? Secondly, I don't know if any of you folks have seen the documentary Her, which talks about how amazing Caitlin Clark is and how she transformed basketball, okay? And how she transformed college basketball. But it is a great documentary. And by the way, we have it posted on our YouTube channel under the posts category at the very top. All right, so you can scroll down there and you'll find the full documentary there. In fact, it is also uploaded to our website. It's one of the earliest videos. If you go to the video list and scroll down, you'll see it's one of the first few videos that we put up when we put the page up. So it is a full documentary uploaded to our channel. Okay, and it just so happens that the highlight reel I'm going to show before the end of this video is culled from that documentary, and they're crazy. All right, the highlights of this are crazy. Okay. Thirdly, I'm not going to show clips, but I do have an interview of Stephanie White talking to Sue Bird. This is a recent video, okay? It's a new video. Talking about how she's built trust with Caitlin Clark, and that does not mean that they don't disagree, okay? Look. Coaches and players have disagreed all throughout history, okay? All throughout history in sports. It has happened a myriad of times, and I've never seen anything as ridiculous as the response that some of the Caitlin Clark fans have to Stephanie White, okay? It is a natural part of the game that coaches and players don't see eye to eye on everything, okay? And to think that there is that kind of panacea is absurd, all right? But some of the fans take this to the extreme and spend their time hating on Stephanie White for absolutely no reason at all, because Caitlin Clark ain't hating on Stephanie White. In fact, the entire Fever team is not hating on Stephanie White. And in fact, when Stephanie White was hired by the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark was quite excited, okay? You know, she is considered one of the greatest basketball minds in the game. She was a great guard in her own right when she played basketball. She was part of Indiana's very first championship team, okay? So what we do see in this video is, to me, the most telling statement made by Stephanie White is, obviously, she's the centerpiece of everything that we do. She states it flat out, okay? She states it flat out. All right? She talks about how she is able to read the floor, plays beyond what's going on right at that moment. So she knows exactly who she has. She, in fact, stated when she joined the team that she was happy to be given the opportunity to coach a generational talent. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. The really great basketball players are not the players who think that they can't get any better and that they're as good as they're going to get. The really great basketball players are the players who continually strive to be better. And that is Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, going into her third year, doesn't believe that she is as evolved as a player as she is going to get. In fact, most players don't hit their actual stride and their peak until about 5 or 6 years in. That's an actual fact. Okay? Caitlin Clark still has a lot to learn. She still has a lot of growing to do. And I know that that's scary to think about, given everything that she has accomplished already, and looking even at her 2025 highlights, which she only played for 13 games. They were ridiculous. But Caitlin Clark is just at the beginning of her career. Her greatness will continue to evolve the more seasoned that she gets. And the great players want to be coached. And that's what Stephanie White is doing, okay? There is no reason to believe that Caitlin Clark can't go through a player development phase. She doesn't know it all yet, and the great players don't believe they ever know it all. So, in that respect, I'm not going to play clips from that interview, but I am putting the interview in the description of this video, and I urge people to watch it. It is also posted on our Facebook page. I posted it this morning before work. So let's take a look at some of these clips. This is about a 13.5-minute video, so I'm not going to play all of it. But let's take a look at some of these. This is college stuff, folks, okay? And I urge you to listen to the commentators when she's shooting these things, okay? So hang on.
Instead, they got a miss. Clark from the logo!
Great look, and Stolke secures the ball. I thought she got foul going up on that.
40 seconds on the Clark.
And here is Clark for three. Clark reads it to 5.
She took the bump right there defensively. Got McKenna Warnock in the air.
Clark at the logo. Book it! Another logo shot for number 22.
Clark. Step back three. Got it! Theory holds the follow through, but it won't drop in. Clark.
Got it! She's a beast.
Clark, one of those distance attacks, strings it up. Look at
She thought she had just as good an angle as the officials did.
Well, if anybody did, she did. She was right there.
Clark for three.
faulted for their efforts. Clark again just needs maybe a foot.
You cannot go under. And it's coming up big. Way to play by Sellers. Couldn't quite get the spin. Caitlin Clark. That's what she does, just right up the floor.
But they can't stop Johnson on the other end.
Well, you better be careful. There might be another one coming right here.
Here she goes. Can they sustain it as this first quarter continues to go on?
Clark, there she goes again. Yes!
You can support as well by visiting v.org/Stewart. 100% of those donations goes to research, and there's Caitlin Clark out of the timeout for the lead for Iowa. I was hoping I was going to have to get my take.
Clark, way too open.
Clark will fire. You bet! From O'Hare, Caitlin Clark.
See some terrific footwork from the postgame of both teams had it.
Caitlin Clark!
Shot. Great first half with 12 points. That's only her second missed field goal of the day. Clark, a deep three. She's feeling it. 20 points for Caitlin Clark. The 25th time this year that Caitlin Clark has scored 20 points.
Iowa plus 12 in rebounding in this game, and Caitlin Clark knocks down yet another three.
You can loose ball. See the pressure from Miller and Sellers once she crosses half court. From Minnetonka, Caitlin Clark, another three.
Maryland has done enough on the offensive end to not let Iowa run away as they've been efficient.
Clark connects. Cuss the foul. Unable to finish. Bourne.
That was a dime, though. You said it.
Well, Shelley almost got the steal. How about Clark? Oh, she is so smooth.
Dribbles to the top. Stelkew checked in. Sedano. Clark, deep three. Wow.
Bulldogs' biggest lead was 9 early in the second quarter. Hawkeyes' biggest lead 4 in the third quarter. Here's Clark. You can't keep her down forever, and outside the second half, she nails that one.
Martin, second chance. Clark. Clark pulls it, nails it.
Iowa with the basketball and a 2-point lead, a 2.5 left to play. Clark gets the screen, hits the three.
Founders in the league. In fact, she led the Big Ten with 11 boards a game last season, but now she's taking that next step by looking to score more.
That's a really fun matchup between her and Sonano today. Caitlin Clark behind the screen, drills it.
Good block there. Clark with the rebound. Caitlin Clark with the rebound. Long three again. Got it.
Wow. Seems so scary entering the month of March. Clark hits the three.
Her previous career high in points, which had been only 9. She has doubled that.
I would have played defense.
Still clinging on to that 4-point lead inside of the final 6 minutes of this thriller. Clark a step back three.
That's her signature move. The step back to her left is what Caitlin...
Trying to figure out what she's going to do. Passes it to Stolke. Back to Clark. Clark with the shot from the logo, and it is made. It's unreal, Max.
This every day, having a team that you know that is their attitude coming into a game. Caitlin Clark lets it rain here in the fourth. She was not going to be denied.
Marshall. Clark step back three. Rattles it home.
The All-American as the clock ticks down to 5. Beautiful give and go, and a 3 to ignite this crowd.
Up to 14.
And there's Mackenzie Holmes coming alive for the Hoosiers. I can't even finish my sentence. And then Caitlin Clark comes down and...
The usual suspects playing their best this afternoon. Clark, that's a tough three. Wow!
Trying to involve the post players early. Clark gets a screen, pulls up, wing triple, got it.
You cannot give Clark an inch.
Team last year before losing to Michigan and then transferring to Nebraska. There's Clark. That's what she does. She's hit 2 from deep.
It's like a Hawkeye home game here at Target Center, just about 4 hours south, or north rather, of Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Both teams have the same colors, so it's hard to tell who's who, but we can tell.
Okay, gang, you got the idea there, right? I mean, look, all I can tell you is this. We may actually have to wait until March to see Caitlin Clark play any real amount of basketball, okay? And that's okay, all right? The most important thing is that we know she's going to be 100% and ready for the WNBA in 2026. And again, I'm looking into where they are with the CBA. There's been remarkably little to report. Nobody seems to be leaking anything, which leads me to believe that they are working on getting this done. All right. Again, all of these alternate leagues notwithstanding, okay? The deal is that not having a 2026 season in the WNBA does not benefit anybody. Project B does not start until November, okay? I believe Unrivaled starts in January, okay? The WNBA does not start until May. These players need the WNBA. Their visibility depends on the WNBA, okay? And their huge television contract, because right now, Unrivaled and Project B do not have that, okay? So it is to everyone's benefit to get this thing done. And I actually firmly believe that Adam Silver, who is actually Kathy Engelbert's boss, wants to see this get done. And we'll be talking a little bit more in upcoming videos about Adam Silver, who is the commissioner of the NBA, about his attitude towards Caitlin Clark, which I'm sure you've heard by now is very positive. Okay, so that's where we are tonight. Enjoy the highlights. The entire reel will be in the description of this video. So I hope you will take the time to watch it. And I will also post it on the Facebook page. So again, here we are. Tomorrow is December 7th, okay? Free agency starts in January, and the only way free agency can start is with a CBA that gets done. Now, they have an extension until January 9th. I'm going to do digging over the next couple of days to see where they are and anything I may be able to find out about that out there. And I will report back to you. But in the meantime, you guys have a great night, and I will see you all again tomorrow.